Jack Parsons, of modern rocketry, would have been 83 in 1997. Tonight we probably won't mention him on the show, but I just wanted to mention his turning 83, as tonight is our 83rd stage production of Jabber Jawn. As we have toured the great towns and cities of this country, we have discovered that the one common subject we all share a love for it is rocketry and jet propulsion. It brings people together like coffee and pie. From the college-educated to the street wizards with their finger on the pulse of the hustle, jet propulsion is never far from someone's train of thought. Which is odd, as it's their train of thought but they are thinking constantly of jet propulsion. Two totally different means of transferring energy and home goods, but that's just the way the English language works. If you have any comments on Jack Parsons or an insightful opinion on his death, please let us know. If you don't mention him, we won't either. But we will know that based on studies undertaken by the Boy Scouts of America, formerly known as Santa's Little Helpers, that for every minute you are focused on Jabber Jawn, your mind will an estimated 6 times, switch over to thinking about jet propulsion. You just can't help it. And this we can all thank Jack Parsons, the father of modern rocketry. Tonight on episode 83 of Jabber Jawn, we hope to orbit the Earth in record-breaking fashion. If you miss it, you miss it. If you see it, you see it. Don't try and be cool at work tomorrow and say you watched it if you didn't. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that you are not telling the truth. Jack Parsons was also a very serious student of the black magic sciences, so he will know if you are not telling the truth. And he is a rocket scientist. Or was. Before he got all blown up. View us in all the channels Nathan provides for you. We like hearing from you. We turn 83 today. Wish us well, kiss and tell. Terrence Trent D'Arby. We think we listened to him recently but aren't for sure, as it was not one of his hits. Episode 83.
Three little frogs sitting on a log, one of them fell in. One frog said to the other frog, well, you better go get her. Two little frogs sitting on a log, one of them fell in. Last little frog, he sat and thought, good thing they can swim. Jabber Jawn, Jabber Jawn, Jabber Jawn, Jabber Jawn. Three little frogs sitting on a log, one burst into a grin. One frog said to the other frog, wonder what's got into him. Two little frogs sitting on a log, one laughed until he is red. Last little frog, he sat and thought, must have been something I said. Jabber Jawn, Jabber Jawn, Jabber Jawn, Jabber Jawn.
Oh my goodness. We are live. We are alive. We are live. Hey, welcome to Jabber Jawn. I'm Nathan Moore.
Hi, I'm Kyle Hogg.
I think you ought to speak for yourself. I'm only about 80%.
83%.
83. I'm Steve Moore.
You're looking
I
good.
think.
I like your jacket. Is that new?
Yeah, I found it in the closet. I think somebody left it last winter.
Oh,
I hadn't worn
it
it
fits
before,
you
yeah.
perfectly. Look at that.
Sometimes I'll go into a strange place and walk out with new clothes.
And you can just feign, you can just pretend you're too old to know you did something like that. Oh, it's in my coat.
That's looked twice.
I was looking for the bathroom, but I found this jacket instead. I guess I'll go ahead.
I've heard, yeah, you've been reading my mail.
It's soaked in urine, so I'm taking it home with me.
Here's hoping they can reach us. You know, life's finest teachers, the ones to show us how to do what must be done. And I don't mean abstractly, I mean matter-of-factly, the nuts and bolts of flying to the sun. But who can show us where to look? How will we know what must be done? I know it's written in a million books, but we can't read every one. Some say God has a plan for every woman, child, and man. Know of all the things to think that might be true. And I don't mean abstractly, I mean matter-of-factly. I can't play piano, can you? But who can show us what it meant when first a string tied to a bow? How do we find our instrument? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who I know it's a sort of prayer to get up and go out there, to know your feet can find a sacred path. And I don't mean abstractly, I mean matter-of-factly. Once you're on it, you ain't ever looking back. I have no idea how it works from where we get our gifts, but each of us, I am sure, is something nobody else is. You got this. 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 You got this.
And we're in.
Man, that's the longest I've ever held a cough in.
Oh, sorry about it. It gets worse, right?
Let's hear a verse of that. That was a great song. I love that.
Thank you.
That's good.
Great theme for what I've been thinking about these days.
Uh-oh, my stand's all wobbly. There- Maybe, hopefully.
I love the way you have little Nathan positioned over here, like he's on the rock with his one leg down.
He loves the show. He was here early. He camped out to be sure he could get the front row.
Security didn't notice him sneaking.
He was out sleeping on the sidewalk by the door this morning. You ever camped out for an event to be the first in line to buy tickets or anything like that?
I went to a print show one time that the friend that wanted to go went and camped out, but I was like, no, if we don't get it, that's
And
fine.
then you just met him in line, all for the tickets?
Yeah.
You ever camped out for anything? To be first in line for something?
The original Star Wars. I know this was going to be big.
No, I can't recall that I ever did.
Yeah, I can't either.
I think I didn't even come close to thinking anything like that. I don't like crowds of people, and I don't really enjoy music venues that much unless I'm out of control on some type of chemical or something like that. But I don't count that. But as far as
You're the first in line. No, I'm just stoned. I don't know what I'm doing. Is there something going on here?
and this is not my coat. Somebody put this coat on me and sent me out of here.
I found some pills.
I think I'm saving somebody's place.
I found some pills in this coat and I took them. I don't know where.
He told me he was getting a divorce and I could have her.
Have you?
Have you?
No,
No, but I I like that spirit, though.
Oh, yeah.
You see a bunch of people sleeping on a sidewalk, so that they're so excited for what's about to happen. They're bonding with everybody that's on the sidewalk with them.
Now, does that still happen, or is with this Ticketron stuff that people don't have to go camp out anymore?
It's probably less likely these days with the online.
Yeah, there are situations where there's a limited number.
Mm-hmm. Or like if it's general admission for the event itself.
Oh yeah, to get up, yeah.
I definitely like High Sierra and different festivals will have sort of you want the prime camping spot or like a festival.
Right.
So like the night before, there'll be a long line of people sleeping in their cars and stuff just to be first in line. And then when they open the gates, it's a mad dash with you throw your tarps down to claim your territory. It's exciting stuff.
You talk about that energy, and I was thinking about that because I've been watching these playoff baseball games, and of course the college football and all the football games. But the energy when they show the stands and they do, especially a baseball game because there's time to kill. They just flip, and with these playoff games, it's 45,000 people all raving a towel. You know,
Right.
There's such great energy there. All these people united to support something like that. It's pretty cool.
It is
It
pretty
makes
cool.
you feel good, and until your team loses. And then
Right, and then they're
then
out
you
there
go out and get drunk
turning
and beat
cars
up
over
somebody.
and setting towns on fire.
No, that's if you win.
Not sure if the chats are working. Sadly, I haven't seen a chat yet. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, say something to us. But we might be relegated to only seeing the Discord comments.
It's the porch, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing anything there either.
Yeah. We are live though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says that. And there's been some emoji action, but that's about it. There's some reaction, likey reaction.
Well, if we're not live, I don't want to do it anymore.
We're live.
I forgot all my lines.
Have you ever done any stage production where you had to memorize lines?
No, closest thing I could come to that would be English class when I was in Ms. Barton's and Ms. Whitelaw's English, advanced English. I was the only football player in class, and I acted like it.
Would y'all do a play or something?
Oh, we had to memorize poetry, Shakespeare.
recite it?
Yeah, different things. Juan Nada Prile.
What the heck is that?
That's the beginning of Chaucer's Canterbury Tales.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
I almost bought a book yesterday at the book sale about what a wild man Chaucer was. Like, he wasn't really a writer. He was like just like a handyman type guy. And in his downtime, he would write these stories, and it went on to be, remembered for.
Weren't they super intricate and long-winded?
Yeah.
They weren't little sonnets or
No.
haikus or anything in my spare time.
I mean, he must have had a lot of spare time.
There's a lot of figures in history that are like that were just like, in their spare time, they would like invent electricity or something. Like,
You must be referring to Jack Parsons.
right, somebody like that. ProGaffs, we have a couple of Discorders in here that we can see. All right, we're going to be relying on you guys in Discord. ProGaff says, it's a sad day the Phillies lost. And Clutch is in here with Homer Simpson wearing a Phillies jersey disappearing into a bush.
Oh, man. I'm sorry.
From what I've understood is that I haven't watched this. I haven't watched any of it, so I don't know. But apparently the Mets were an amazing team this year. That the Phillies didn't fail. They just were beat by a better team.
Well,
Am I wrong in that?
if you're a Philly fan, you're wrong. Phillies expect a little bit more.
Right.
But, it was a good series, and there were just some key hits, as usual, that certain guys got. And pitching was pretty even. But
How did I not know the World Series was happening?
this is not the World Series.
Oh,
These are the playoffs.
I see.
So, they'll win the National League.
So the Phillies and the Mets had a best out of
5.
5 for the for the World Series? So the Mets are off.
I think there's a whole nother round.
I think so too.
I think there's another round of the NL. There's another semifinal game.
I'm sorry, you Philadelphia fans out there.
And as you might have guessed, this isn't a sports talk show. Since we don't know.
Program says, nah, they kind of blew it.
Yeah.
Is it, Steve, would you say there's something to the fact, or having to do with the fact that the Mets were not very good and not in this position that they're in now, or hadn't been for a long time? Weren't they going through a long drought?
Yeah.
You say the Mets? The Mets, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
They've been 13 years or something like that.
So that might sting to anybody who loses to them too.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit more, because it's like, ooh,
Right.
really, it had to be the Mets.
I must just have Mets fans in my social media feed giving me a distorted view of reality.
Well, I think for them, based on where they were halfway through the season, win-loss record, how they played, they didn't look like they'd be here now. So for them, it is a miracle team.
Mm-hmm.
They've really come a long way in a short period of time. They just all of a sudden they started clicking and rode it in.
That's fun.
It's getting hot like that is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what your friends are referring to. They've had a magical run here lately.
And they're on.
And
they're on
coming
it now.
from behind, the way they won that one game, last inning with 2 strikes and 2 outs,
Oh wow.
down 2-0. The guy hits a 3-run homer.
Oh wow. That's why. There you go.
Keeps you coming back.
That's why that keeps you coming back. And Pergap says, it's fine. I can have a life now. Cleveland is playing Detroit right now. This just in. It's 1-1. What inning? We'll keep you updated here, folks. Because I know there's a lot of baseball fans
really
out there.
want to know that.
Oh, you're taping it.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh my God.
So
Never mind.
Maybe not.
Never mind. X-nay on the update, nay.
JMU should be kicking off soon.
We're gonna edit
Oh,
this
right.
part.
So that's a little local treasure.
It's a bit ESPN's in the house. It's
ESPN.
one of those big game days at JMU. Go Dukes.
Big Thursday night game for the home team, I guess you could say.
My beautiful wife had a very successful day on Tuesday, and that for the last 2.5 years, she's been working with a group to implement at JMU what is called the Okanagan Charter. And it's a commitment to wellness and health and wellness that's a holistic approach. Like the analogy they like to use, and it started in Canada, and like different colleges are signing on to become a part of this Okanagan Charter. And their approach to it is like, if you see a frog that looks sick, you don't say to the frog, "What's your problem? Get your act together." You look at the pond that it's in. Like that's your first instinct. If you want to know what's wrong with the frog, it's not what the frog's doing wrong. You almost always are going to look at the water and the pond, the ecosystem that it's living in, as to what's making it unhealthy. So that's sort of the analogy they use for this approach to. So on Tuesday, JMU officially signed on to the Okanagan Charter. So the president was there, and the mayor of the you had to have the local community. It's a holistic thing. So the way the college is interrelating with the local community is all part of what you have to be thinking once you get into this mindset. But Cather, because she was integral in the group that was advocating for JMU to become a part of it, had to give a speech.
Ooh.
So she gave it. Lex was there. I wasn't there. It was before my
Was it
time.
taped?
No, I don't think it was taped.
No, I don't think so.
I should have asked you to record it with your phone, but that would have made her even more nervous.
Yeah, just
Once the red light's on, things tend to fall apart a little bit.
Catherine, can you talk a little bit louder, please?
But she was so nervous about it, and she didn't want to do it, but then she did it, and it all went well. But that was a nice couple of years' work culminating in a very beautiful thing.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just to expand on that a little bit, just because I was there, so it's even more ingrained. But it's this whole campus initiative too. It's like for the health of the entire campus, from the students to the staff, faculty, you know, everyone involved, you know, which is just a really beautiful thing,
That sounds great.
you know. So all the folk, you know, all their efforts, even from down to the kind of groundskeeping they do. So it's people, places, and planet are the 3 P's of it. And that was painted on this rock. They have this spirit rock at JMU, and you get to paint it and stuff. And so they painted it, and that's what it said on there. And then everybody there, if they wanted to, got to sign the rock. So we all...
Did you sign the rock?
We all signed the rock.
Oh, nice.
And we were signing the rock just like we were signing the charter. We were signing it too. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. First Virginia school to do it.
Oh, wow.
So, and it was great the way they had it set up. The podium was... The backdrop of the podium is facing straight west, and you're on a hill, so all you see are mountains. And it was just a beautiful day. It couldn't have been better. Yeah. My wife was there. Yeah, she came up, and it was a beautiful afternoon.
It was so beautiful yesterday. I had called in.
Oh, wow.
I just called work and said I can't come in today. It's too beautiful, and they said that's fine.
Good. Don't you
Oh,
love
that's
that?
beautiful.
Isn't that cool? It's her giving her speech.
I love that.
Oh,
Very nice.
It's hard to focus, but
Oh yeah! Wow.
it's all official. Beautiful day for it.
Very cool. I wanted to real quick I don't know if anybody in Verona watches this, but I want to apologize to someone.
Speaking of people, places, and planet, to the entire vicinity of Verona.
In the total concept of what they just said, I want to apologize to this person. I went to the Verona park and ride yesterday.
Park and ride?
Yeah, like, you know, those places you can meet. Like,
Oh, you can get a bus? Or,
Yeah.
oh, you park your car and hop in someone else's car for like a carpool
Yeah,
lot?
so me and my friend were going to that concert, and so I pull up, and there's a car with a woman sitting in it, which I was expecting. And then there's a car that's empty, then a parking space. So I pull into the empty parking space, and I look through the empty car, and I'm making like this face to my friend. And then I go up, and
What did you do?
What's that move?
I'm just like,
It's
I'm
really
here.
a scary face.
So then I get out of my car, and I had my phone. I was blasting some music, and I walk around the empty car, and it was close to her car. So I get up, and I had to go like sort of shimmy in between it, and I lean to look at her, and the car takes off. So like 10 seconds later, my friend texted me and said, "Are you there yet?" I said, "Yeah, why'd you leave?" She goes, "We're not there yet." So whoever that lady was, if
You scared her? She ran for her life?
She tore out of there 100 miles an hour, and she almost ran over my feet.
Oh my goodness.
So if anybody has heard this story and you know who that lady is, tell her I'm very sorry. I did not mean to have her.
I'm going to distance myself from you.
But when she came like that close to running over my feet. But I thought it was my friend being funny. So I said, "Man, you almost ran over my feet." She goes, "Seriously, we're not there yet. It's not. I don't know what you're talking about."
Wow. There you go.
Man,
so
I
funny.
felt guilty about that like for 24 hours now. So if anybody knows that lady, please tell her Kyle Hogg is sorry.
So for those just joining us, just a heads up, the chat is not working from YouTube or Facebook or Twitch. The only chats we're seeing are on our Discord server. So if you're a member of Nathan's Land on Discord, talk to us. We want to know what you think. But otherwise, we are not ignoring you. The restream does not seem to be sending us the chats from other platforms. But I'm glad we got a good little gaggle of folks hanging out here in Discord to egg us on.
One thing we forgot to talk about last week that I did want to hear your views, because you said you had some, was about Pete Rose.
Well, we are.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Well,
What was his nickname? Charlie Hustle?
that was one of them.
One of them.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he had more than one, but that was. I mean, that's not somebody you just call anybody. That's not a nickname you call someone. That's what you call him in a paper or article. But, you know, hey, Charlie Hustle.
That's too many syllables.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, I think Pete is more. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it's the arguments about the whole deal about the Hall of Fame is more semantic than anything else. It's just obviously he was one of the better human beings that ever played professional baseball. So what does that mean? Does that mean he automatically ought to be in the Hall of Fame, or should he be the number one in the, you know, how do you rank? Yeah, what is it? It's all arbitrary anyway. So everybody has an opinion, and then, you know, who wins, wins. But my opinion is...
Well, tell people, for those that don't know anything about the story.
Well, the story is that he got more base hits than anybody that's ever played the game. And he played the game the right way, hard.
What was his position?
Second base.
Second base.
But he played outfield too, and third. But he was mainly a second baseman when he was in his prime. But he was just a little left-handed. One thing, he was the people's candidate because he wasn't that talented. He wasn't. His physical, you know, he looked like a middle-aged guy, and he batted left-handed, but he played hard, and he played really a tough game, yeah, blue collar,
Right.
and so he represented that faction of our people, which is a lot of baseball fans. So yeah, he was very popular in that way. And he played for the Cincinnati Reds when they had the Great Red Machine, so he was part of that historical team too, so he had that going, a lot of World Series stuff, and he always played well wherever he played. But at the end of his career, he actually managed for many years after he quit, and he was a manager. But while he was managing, he was found out and determined that he had gambled and bet on baseball games, which was a no-no, and he was kicked out of that was what they said was the reason why he was never nominated to be, because he broke the rules in that way. Now,
And gambling was probably illegal then, right? Or
well, he could have been in Las Vegas, so it wasn't illegal completely. He could have made a bet in Las Vegas legally, but the idea that he was betting on baseball when he was part of the game.
Was he ever accused?
It was conflict of interest, is what the people.
Was he ever accused of betting against the team he managed?
Well, that's where it gets interesting.
Right.
When it all went down a few years ago, I was on the side of if he didn't, I think it's a misdemeanor for him to be betting on ball games.
Right.
But a felony to bet against your own team.
Right. That's
and it's not
huge
cool.
difference.
It's somewhere in between to be betting for your team, because you have inside information. So if you know that you're not going to play your pitcher but one inning, and you bet against him, or even if you bet for him because you're going to lead, you're going to let you have information. So that makes you guilty of something. But so many people have said, the Hall of Fame is it's not based on your personal character. All these. Do you hold all these other people to anything that they may have done in their life? But he did at the end of his career admit, for a long time he wouldn't admit, for many years he said he did not bet on baseball. But finally, when he put out a book a few years ago, he did reveal that he did bet on baseball. Well, all of a sudden I've got a new rule. I don't like liars.
Right.
So I don't know.
But he never admitted to betting against his own team.
No, and I don't think he would.
Right.
It's not because he's too much of a competitor. And that's why I say that would be a felony. He's playing. He was addicted to. That's the thing that I need to bring up. He was an addict. I mean, he was an addict to gambling his whole life, just like some people are with alcohol or other drugs or other things. He was addicted to gambling. And I understand, I have had a gambling problem. I know where I speak, and I know it's a difficult thing to play with. And he needed that adrenaline rush. Runners do the same thing. People get addicted to running because of that. They have to find that mood that they can only get when they do that. That's all what addiction is. So
I guess that sort of ties back into something, one of our after conversations recently, where Cather was making the point that the reason something is labeled a disorder is because it's a behavior that has an adverse effect on your life. So it's like I feel like the addiction in this context is similar. Like you would call it an addiction, not because it's like a compulsive behavior, but because it's adversely, because you could almost call anything, I'm addicted to songwriting.
Right.
But it's a positive compulsion.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. I don't know. So I think
can you behave compulsively?
I think one you're talking about looking towards something, and the other you're looking away. And that what you're looking is life. If you're compelled to do something because it's good for you, it's different than it giving you some type of rush.
So what's the difference when you say addicted to running? What would
well,
define whether someone just runs every day or whether someone's addicted to it?
Well, when it becomes more important than other things that should be more important in your life, that's pretty much what addiction is for anything.
Right.
When it takes over in some way,
Again, songwriting, I would have to plead guilty to that to a certain extent.
Well, I would argue that's a lot. That's not a good example of of a thing to be addicted to, because there's a whole lot about songwriting that you enjoy and fulfills you and makes you who you are. And that's a little bit different than saying you have to write a song. I'm not going to do any. I have to, because if you were addicted to songwriting, you wouldn't be a very good songwriter. Because you got to have a life to talk about.
That's a good point.
Now, do you ever feel bad or uptight or anything if you haven't written a song?
Oh yeah. You're
Wow.
spiritually clogged. It's like a soul constipation. Writer's block is, any writer will tell you about the.
No, not that like just say, let's just say like today you didn't write a song. Would you feel like you had wasted the day?
Oh no, I don't. I'm not like that.
Okay.
Good
But
point.
writer's block is a genuine phenomenon.
Right.
Yeah, he makes a good point there about addiction too, though. Yeah,
What-
addiction has in my mind, and it's only in my mind because I'm making the definition up. But in my mind, I've lost what my thought was. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
It's like if Cather said I'm doing the thing, but he said, well, I got to write a song today, so I'm not going to it.
Yeah, addiction has the quality where you have to do it on a basis, or you're not. It takes over, and I think that's where a lot of things. And I've made that point before that I think the key to a life is to have a multitude of addictions, so that not one of them takes over.
Right. That's the.
And that's what I would say about songwriting. Songwriting is about 5 different things, because you're not just writing a song to you, you're writing a song to other people. And most addictions are, one of their negative impacts is it envelops you into yourself. But songwriting is a way of you communicating. And but your point's well taken. I could call it an addiction. It's kind of like what Cather was saying. It's the idea of being. It could be your calling in life.
Right.
It's the meaning of your existence. So, I would hesitate to call that an addiction because it doesn't have the negative quality that we talk about.
Right.
Yeah, she's right there.
Well, that's when I was just thinking about it. I would say you're not addicted to songwriting. You're driven to songwriting.
I like
So
that.
how did you know? Why would you say you were addicted to gambling at a point in your life?
I saw all the, I experienced that. I experienced the addiction of it.
In yourself or in people in that
No, in
community?
myself. No,
Right.
yeah, it was self-abuse. But I saw the negative connotation. I had to go to my father and ask him for a lot of money, or I was going to have to leave town.
No, the classic.
See, I was smarter than just a bettor. I figured out I could be a bookie and I couldn't lose.
Ah, the house always wins.
Yeah. But what you got to remember about a bookie is you need to be a businessman.
Which, yeah.
And I wasn't a businessman. I was an addicted gambler.
Right.
So it didn't make me, I could make money, but then the worst part was I was taking bets from my friends and there was a no-win. I was taking their money and causing them to have a problem.
Right.
And I wasn't making that much money anyway. It just felt horrible. So I couldn't be the bookie. I ended up being the gambler. And we know where they end up eventually.
How far down that hole did you get? Did you ever have a problem
Well,
getting money from somebody that owed you, or any? You ever have any weird conversations?
I had some interesting situations there, because what you do if you're a small-time bookie is you take the extra money and pass it off to somebody else. If you got an extra money, so you might lose the vigorous, but you don't lose that whole thing.
What was that word?
Vigorous.
The vigorous.
The 11 to 10. That's what it should be. If
You know this word?
If I have a
What's
bookie,
11 to
if I
10?
have a bookie,
He's addicted to the English language and using strange words that nobody knows.
if I have a bookie and I bet $10 on tonight's game and I win $10. If I lose, I pay 11. You pay a percentage over so it's always been 11 to 10. It's something like you have to win 57% of the time to break even, which just does, it happens occasionally to you, but it doesn't happen to everybody. In other words, every night the casino makes that 10%. They hope everybody bets not one way, but they split. So as a little bookie, I'm trying to make a split too, because if I get you to bet 500 and you to bet 500, I don't have to watch the game. I just made $50 and didn't do anything. And that's the advantage of being the bookie, which is how America works, by the way. Right. If you have money and can give it to people, you get more money back.
Right.
You don't have to do anything. We've got a whole country of people making a lot of money that don't do anything.
Can we just pause for a second and talk about how this is turning into a great sports show?
Oh, look. Well, we heard
way.
ESPN is in the vicinity.
By the way.
I mean, they're just right there. They're just right there.
Well, if you're watching any athletic event tonight, you're going to see two things advertised: gambling and alcohol, and Arby's, because you need a little beef.
Well, back to Pete Rose. I'm not sure we finished that up. Oh, I missed one. I was reading the chat. Oh, what did I miss?
I got him.
Rewind.
He got into where's the beef.
Oh, while we're on Where's the Beef, Swavey says, nice shirt, Kyle. Speaking of...
This is one of my latest thrift store finds.
No, it's a classic. That's some vintage.
It's our new sponsor. It's a good time to introduce our new sponsor.
MTV,
Yes,
thank you.
welcome to
I found
Jabber
this.
Jawn.
I found this in a pair of like gym shorts material, but they look like faded denim jeans.
Oh, there you
So
go.
there's no zipper or pockets, but they're all painted on there and everything.
Why are you wearing the whole outfit? Did you got them?
Some friends of mine came. Well, one of my friends came from out of town, and we were out drinking and getting carried away. And we decided the next bar we're gonna go to, we're just gonna stop at this thrift store and get some crazy outfits. So I went in wearing those stupid shorts.
I bet you were a hit.
We need pictures in the chat
The
immediately.
I got a shirt that says, "I'm I've been vaccinated, so I'm ready to cruise." But it was on the back, so my friends told me, "You gotta wear it so everybody can see it." But like the collar was like way up on my neck because it was I had it on backwards. So we're sitting down at bar with this ill-fitting shirt, and those
Oh
stupid
my
pants.
gosh. You went to Baja wearing your shirt on backwards. Kyle, damn.
Just so we can see the reactions on people's faces.
Oh,
when they read-
Lord.
Have you been vaxxed? Is it a true statement?
But isn't that a weird memory that people would be so proud that they've got? Well, I guess maybe be coming back, but I've been vaccinated and I'm ready to. It said ready to cruise. It meant like it was a picture of a boat, so I guess you could get on.
Oh, got
But
you.
we were just laughing. I'm vaccinated and ready to cruise.
Are you vaxxed?
I haven't gotten one recently, but I did all the stuff you're supposed to back in the day.
Back in the day. Oh, but
Like
how about
COVID
flu
days.
shots? Do you do
I
that?
go to the doctor next week. I'm getting my flu shot.
Do you do
yeah.
flu shots?
No,
I've never had one in my life.
no. I just stay away from people
Mm-hmm.
and birds.
And birds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this wine.
Did we finish with Pete Rose just before we move
Oh,
on?
I don't know. I've finished with him a long
Well,
time ago.
but the
Do
thing
you
is,
think he should be in the Hall of Fame?
It doesn't bother me.
Either way.
Stanton or Robert E. Lee, I like them both.
Mm-hmm.
Stanton High School's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if he's in the Hall, it doesn't matter. He's got more notoriety than anybody in the Hall of Fame, so
Right.
he's fine.
Yeah, he
Rest in peace.
he lived a good life.
Yeah, he's. I mean, you know, character-wise, he wasn't Jimmy Carter.
What?
but
Oh, right.
But the thing is, without the betting thing, he's 100% first ballot
Definitely,
in the
definitely.
Hall of Fame. Yeah.
And the one reason it doesn't matter, I'm being callous about it, is he's not here. It should have, if it was going to be done, it should have been done while he was alive,
Right.
that he could appreciate it. But what happens now
almost moot
doesn't
at
make a
this
whole
point.
lot difference. And
Has his record been beaten?
no, it's not never going to be.
It's
beaten.
never going to be beaten?
I don't think.
Well, then he
so.
should be in there
Well, yeah.
so kids know what the record is.
That's the thing.
They don't even know where to set their goals.
But that's the thing. He wasn't like somebody who was like, maybe he would just fade away. He was so good that people are going to know about him whether he's in the Hall of Fame or not.
Oh, yeah. And this discussion will continue to keep him in the name in the news. So, yeah. In other words, it'll be an interesting discussion. Probably a lot more interesting than this one was.
Oh, I dare him.
Someone I think could almost argue that the attention, the emphasis that it brought to sports gambling and fairness and things like that, and keeping that player gambler separation and stuff, it just kind of brought a light to that whole world. You can almost argue that his controversy is also a reason why he should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, why not? It's it's a dirty story, but he was partially famous for that, and
Yeah,
I
the
don't know.
story of
It'd definitely be
baseball,
part of the display.
Right.
Like
It's a lot of history to tell.
over here, his accomplishments. Over here, the controversy,
controversy.
and it's all learning.
Form your own opinion, but he was a awesome baseball player.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you ever been to the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Oh, where is that?
You know,
Cooperstown?
it's in New York,
Cooperstown.
Cooperstown, New York. And the truth is, I did go there.
Oh, wow.
Took my young sons, Joe and Daniel, there.
Was Granddad with you?
Granddad went with us.
Wow.
We saw the Hall of Fame baseball game. They had an exhibition. They had the Chicago White Sox play. That's all. Frank Thomas hit a home run.
That's what I was gonna. That's what I was gonna ask you. Was it the White Sox or the Black Sox? The betting.
Black Sox.
But is that mentioned in the Hall of Fame? 'Cause that was.
Unless there's some type of special.
Yeah, I know the
you
players are.
I didn't. No, I didn't see anything on it. But, and I don't remember too much about it. I think we just didn't really do the tour that much. We just, with two little ones, we just went to the ball field and we walked around a little bit, but didn't see everything. But my memory is the ball game, not the museum itself.
So there's like a stadium there at the
Yeah, they
museum?
have it's a ballpark.
That's cool.
It's like our field. You know what I did yesterday?
What?
I walked over to Lake Thames, and I was getting my steps in. And I drove over to Lake Thames, and I was walking around, and the baseball field was open. And I walked out and stood at third base.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And just looked at the field and the angle of how fun playing third base was. Talking about a sports show. Playing third base, you're right near the pitching mound, so you can just see the pitcher's work and everything. And then you can see the catcher. I could even see the signals. If he gave the signals on his right leg, I could actually see them. So you were really involved with the game. And then when the ball comes off the bat, it's right there. So you have to be alert, so alert to catch those balls. Those balls get there in no time.
Right.
And I was just marveling at because I played, Babe Ruth there. I played high school ball there.
Now this is a Moxie Stadium?
Yes,
Is that
Ted Bosiak Field, my coach.
Is that the same size as a professional baseball diamond?
Yeah.
But the Kiwanis Field is maybe a little smaller? Or is
the Kiwanis Field is much smaller.
much smaller?
much smaller. I mean, the bases are the same.
Oh, they are?
I'm talking about the whole
I mean
field.
the bases.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, they are the same.
Wow.
Yeah,
So Major League and Kiwanis,
60
same
feet,
distance,
90 feet.
90 feet.
The pitcher's mound is 60 feet, 6 inches. But yeah, 90 feet.
So
Actually, I'm not so sure. I think the Little League fields are smaller.
They look smaller, but
Yeah.
like you say, the outfield's way smaller.
Yeah, they are smaller. I'm wrong. Little League field, I don't know what their dimensions are. They're definitely smaller.
Yeah, that would be a long ways for a little kid to throw.
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember when I went to high school, it was a long way I never had a very good arm for a third baseman. I also remember having to bounce them over to Joe McHugh too.
Joe McHugh's first base.
He was my first baseman.
Oh.
He and Ernie Landis.
So is the catcher calling the pitches?
Yep. Back then, the catcher, this thing of the catcher looking over at the manager and all the plays were being called from the bench. An old catcher like Rick Cook doesn't like that. That's not the way you play the game.
So the catcher is calling the pitches.
Yeah.
But the pitcher can shake him off, or
Yeah, exactly.
And
now they have the little, they can do it with push a button.
Oh, so the pitcher's the one going like this.
Yeah, if he calls something, he's like, no, I don't agree with you.
So when he shakes his head, the guy gives him another signal for another pitch.
Gotcha.
But it's also so the pitcher's not throwing some curveball and he's expecting some fastball to come down. It's
Right,
sort-
you would
it's
expect.
sort-
I
sort
always
of
would
thing
expect it to be
coordinated.
the other way. The pitchers would be saying, "Here's what I'm about to throw to you," but the catcher's the one taking in the batter, their strong points, their weak points.
Well, the pitcher is too. I mean, most pitchers, what we were really talking about is the communication. Because if the pitcher and the catcher are on the same wavelength,
Right.
and after you've played a few games together, you know what he's going to think. And if you miss it, you miss it. But usually you're going to know what you need to do.
Does the pitcher have signs they give back to say, "This is what I'm throwing"?
No, they just have to shake it off. So sometimes they'll have to shake it off once or twice in the old days.
Did you play baseball?
No.
Did you play baseball? Yeah.
But also the way I understand it, the catcher's not really telling you what to throw. He's just making sure if you're throwing a high tight one, he's gonna go up there and not be going outside. They're trying to get coordinated so it's not pitches just going everywhere, and the catcher's like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, but if he gives a signal for a certain pitch, they pretty much know where they want it to go. But then he gives the catcher is the one that gives the placement. He lines up, gives him the pitch, the target to pitch right at the last second.
Mm-hmm.
So he is telling you there.
And he's making those signals. The batter can't see it.
Right.
And the pitcher's setting up his pitch and with his fingers and everything, and how he's holding the ball for that pitch, all behind his gloves, and nobody knows what's going to come out except him and the catcher.
Right.
That's
cool.
And the Texas Rangers.
Before I never remember.
The guy with the binoculars.
What was that word you used when talking about gambling with 11-10?
Vigorish.
Vigorish. What is that again?
That's the house edge. Like when you play a game of roulette or anything, the house has a percentage that they win on every bet.
And that's called the vigorish?
And that's the term used in the business is the vigorish. They just call it the vig, but
the vig.
See,
I
like that fantasy game I'm on, the vig's terrible. It's 23-10, and with 11-10 is 22, so they're making even more. Yeah. But the reason I still play it and I still don't win, I don't expect to win. What I'm doing is paying them to keep all that computer stuff and give me that data and let me play that game. So I don't mind paying them to do all that work because it's fun to look at all the statistics and everything. And if you had to plan, you had to pay for a service.
Right.
So I don't mind that. But so I'm competing against other people in my mind. They're probably just all AI things too.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's more of a game of skill than gambling. When you go to a roulette table, the odds are, you know exactly what the odds are.
Right.
You can hope you can get lucky and then roll.
And that's never going to change.
And that's why one time you walk out a millionaire, and the next time you walk out with not a. I think it was Omar Sharif, the actor, said that he remembers 6 different times he walked out of a casino in Las Vegas with no money at all, where he'd lost every penny he had. And he just said, she said,
in life or in his pocket? In
his whole world.
Wow.
He was bankrupt.
Wow.
6 different times.
Norm Macdonald said he did that, I think, 3 times.
Yeah.
Just
Who?
you walk. Norm Macdonald, the comedian.
Uh-huh.
Like you just walk out and you're like, man, how am I gonna pay rent and buy a sandwich the next day? But those guys had good jobs. It wasn't like they were gonna.
Well, they were addicted.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to, that's not always true. Sometimes you lose your family and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
that's important.
So you were betting before all this online stuff. So you would get up in the morning, look at the box scores, and have to rely on that, break everything down?
Yeah. Yeah.
He took a lot of made a lot of charts.
USA Today. And,
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, a lot of. I was keeping my own statistics. But then,
so I guess it was always legal to gamble in Las Vegas on sports?
Well, that's why it was invented.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because I always wondered, it was like, if gambling's illegal, why do the newspapers have the spread?
Well, that's been happening for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But what's happening right now is the scariest thing, because every athletic event you watch, there's DraftKings or FanDuel or
I have
MGM.
FanDuel on my phone. I don't even know why. Just one night I saw an ad.
You're addicted.
And to apps.
To apps.
Yeah.
I like that too.
You know what's on my
Like, oh, there's an app I don't have. I'm getting it.
you know what's on my phone about? Almost every single time I look at it now, these damn shoes are yours.
Oh, you really?
Ads
It's in
for
your
it all the
algorithms now?
time, yeah.
You better get you some. They ain't wrong.
Some lady holding it up, rubbing it. These are the nicest, best shoes you're
She
That's
ain't
so
wrong.
funny.
Thank you to our sponsor.
Yeah, thank you, Tiva.
All right.
That's funny.
I still stick by them. I'll tell you what.
Oh, wow.
There's
Yeah,
no finer shoe.
Is that how you found out about it on the internet? Or how
Yep, it was a Facebook ad,
Yeah.
and it was like they were reading my mail. They knew everything I wanted in a shoe and presented it to me in 10 seconds.
Right.
Like the guy was camping with a fire or whatever. He was probably playing music and hanging out with his dog too. It was
You're like, what?
Well, you know,
and then
that's,
collapsible heel. I'm like, go on, and yeah, next thing
well, you know, that's exactly what they're doing.
100%. I don't mind it. I opt in every time they ask me if I want them to keep doing that. I'm like, sure, please go on.
They ask you that?
Yeah, like if you sign up for a new app or a new
Oh,
thing,
okay.
they're like, do you want us to track you? Or I'm like,
okay.
yeah, go ahead.
For like ads and stuff.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah,
I'd
let's
rather
have some
see
fun
like,
with this, right?
I mean, yeah, like it's music gear, magic tricks.
Right.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Give me that. I'd rather see that than it just not know me at all. I opt in probably a little too much, but
So how many? You have just 2 colors now?
2 colors now. Yeah.
Now, do you go to one pair? Do you prefer one color?
Since I got these, I haven't gone back. Yeah. My brown ones, I'll save those for special occasions, fancy dinners, ballroom affairs, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
To vote? We wear those to vote?
Yeah, I'll put on my brown ones to vote.
Oh,
Classy.
Nathan's doing
Classy.
something serious today. How do you know? He just walked out in those brown
He's
ones.
got his browns on.
So I want to read your Facebook post from last night. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
I'm scrolling down Facebook and I see Kyle. I want to tell people they should friend you on Facebook, but you might not want that kind of attention. But your posts, both of your posts, are reasons to stay on Facebook. If you guys ever quit, I'm out. I can find my ads somewhere else.
Kevin's like, all these damn catalogs keep coming. What are we going to do with them?
Sometimes magic is a delicate balance of love, music, and atmosphere. The grace of the ancient poets dating back to languages we can't even understand. May all our hearts remember those before us 1,000,000 years who felt that sense of grace, compassion, and loyalty. I am blessed beyond my wildest imagination. And with that was a little 10-second. This is where he was last night.
And guess who knew who it was?
Oh, it just does feel healing. Just that little glimpse.
Who is it?
So tell us a story.
That's beautiful, by the way.
The opening, well, God, now I can't remember. What's his name? God, he was the opening act. God, now I can't remember what his name is.
Was it a local or someone
No,
else?
he was the opening act.
Oh, he was the opening act?
Yeah, it was Ray
LaMontagne.
He was
Oh,
the
I didn't-
headliner, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know it was
Yeah.
a LaMontagne show.
Yeah.
But that who we just heard was Gregory Alan Isaacoff.
Isaacoff, that's it, yeah.
That was a headliner?
He was the
He
opener
was the opening act.
for Ray LaMontagne.
But he was so good that people were leaving, and they said the people were telling him the show's not over, but he was so good that they stopped
Well,
the
probably
show
a lot
was
of
over.
people went just to see him.
Yeah.
He's got some diehard fans.
Yeah.
You know, I know him.
Oh, really?
hmm
Wow.
I played at his house before.
Wow.
Yep, and played with. When I first met him was in Boulder, Colorado, little venue. We shared a bill. We both played there, and when I first met him, he said, "You know, someone gave me a cassette of Sad Songs Make Me Happy years ago." When I
Wow.
met him, he had been given from someone else a cassette of my music.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
So then he started dating a friend of mine from the Shook Twins. And then because of that connection, then he was having like a house concert at his house. And it was in Colorado. And Kether and I were there. And me, Kether, and Christiana all went to his house. And I played a little set
Oh,
at
that's
his
so cool.
house.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Listening
He's
to
so
him.
good.
Yeah.
So tell us more about your post. Or just that.
Just that feeling just to be sitting there and everybody I mean, he just took you. It just really took you away. And it was beautiful lighting where they would just be shadows for a while, and then the background would just fade. It was just like, it was a musical show. It was like an experience too. It was just set up so beautifully the way they did it. And he didn't do a lot of talking. You know, he just would play a song, and it would go dark, and then some other thing would come up. It was really nice.
Were you a fan of his before that?
I'd never heard of it.
Oh, wow.
No, yeah.
Did you stay for the Ray LaMontagne?
He was really good too.
Great.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
You're so good about getting yourself out there and keeping that inspiration.
Yeah, I
coming in.
live vicariously through
Me,
you.
me too. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, on the local level, I gotta highly plug. Skank is playing at 8 o'clock tomorrow night at Ciders from Wise, and Stanton has a ska band that is completely legit. Horn section,
Nasty horn section.
and I mean they are really.
Who is it?
It's a Lawrence band.
Oh, okay.
But it's a Pablo's in there and a bunch of people I don't know, and we saw their, I guess it was sort of their debut at Baja. Lex and I went down, and was just completely floored by how great they were, and it was so inspiring. We were like starting a band, sitting in there. We gotta start a band.
I started growing dreads.
Yeah, I mean, we felt like we were kids again, just all inspired by the possibilities. That's a highly recommended show tomorrow night,
Cool.
8 o'clock at Ciders. But yeah, good on you for going, because you're always out there getting fed on that
thank you.
level.
Yeah, you're representing.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah.
It was very. We went and saw Shagwolf Friday, and they always put on like a good show. But they had
So good.
They had the horn section from the Judy Chops playing with them, which added a totally different sound. And they were just having a good time, just like like a different sound than Judy Chops, of course. But they were just there.
Oh, I bet they were
getting
in
into
heaven.
it. Yeah, it was so much fun.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks for being out there on the boots on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Representing.
Oh, I just do it for you guys.
I do believe in that vicarious thing too. I always tell people, like, if they go on a big trip or a big adventure, that they're taking us with them in some way. That some small part of us, when Joe travels the world or whatever, there's something.
Oh,
that
there's no doubt about that.
we all benefit from. it.
I have people like on Facebook that share their travels and things, and I enjoy that. I did that when I went down to the basement the other day. And, it was pretty impressive.
Someone help! I can't get back up. Where are you? Down in the basement.
And I couldn't call anybody because I was filming.
Right. Already using the phone.
If someone's watching this, call someone to come get me.
Yeah, that's what I had to do. I had to say, if there's anybody out there. Of course, there wasn't anybody out there because I was just filming it for the first time.
Wait, I haven't
It's not like this one where we got 15 or 20 people watching it.
Tech support says live music is magic.
Yeah.
He says I play fantasy FOMO, where I get points for my friends going to shows.
Oh, that's
Oh, that's cool.
He's another one out there seeing the shows, man.
Yep. You know what FOMO is?
No.
No.
It's an acronym. What would you guess? FOMO.
Friends,
Nope.
fans,
Nope.
fuck.
Hey.
Oh,
What?
nothing. Fear of missing out.
Oh man, I have no idea what you're talking
Oh,
about.
I was doing PHO.
FOMO. You were like having a suit.
I had
Good
that
broth.
for dinner the other night.
It's FOMO. That's a good broth. I'll tell you what. I don't care who you are.
He's so used to quoting Chaucer, he's still using the old PH spelling.
Oh,
for
right.
everything.
FOMO, yep.
No, how did the Maid show go? I didn't get that till too late, but how did that? Not the show, but
It was
playing.
very nice. It was very nice. It was A beautiful day downtown Stanton. I love how they block the streets off now, and everybody's just sort of milling around. One of our, so it was me, Rennie, and Lex playing for Maid's birthday / meet the candidate, Corey, for council. And Maid is a great store that they own downtown Stanton with all kinds of fun wares. And so we were just playing on the sidewalk on a beautiful day. But one of the ways we knew that we were actually crushing it was when a couple started dancing in the street, like full on, flamboyantly spinning each other. And
Oh, that's wonderful.
Both of them had like arms full of stuff they were carrying around. They were totally taken in Stanton, and they said, "Hold on." They set all that stuff down on the ground and said, "Come on, let's go right on out here."
Oh, that's beautiful.
It was fun because it gave me a lot of nice flashbacks too of my life right there. But we were near the end of the song when they started dancing, so we all looked at each other. Keep going. You gotta keep going. You got this extended version here.
It's
the
like
extended dance remix.
They weren't here. They weren't here for the beginning of the song. Let's just do it again.
Right.
Yeah, we were on the Titanic and we heard last lifeboat just left, and we looked at each other and said, "Just keep going,
Just
boys."
keep going, boys. But then after we played down there at Maid, we came back here and got to eating and drinking and playing on the back porch, and that's some of my favorite music I've ever made in my life.
Wow.
We got on. We just something was in the air, and just the way we played together was something else. It was it all felt brand new and better than ever. And I still don't even understand how we did a couple of things we did that night.
Me neither.
There was a couple of songs that they had never heard before, but it sounded like we were this polished, like we'd been doing this for all our lives, that we'd spent hours rehearsing and getting those changes. And
It sounds like a kind of magic.
it was a kind of magic. Yeah.
No, you playing the bass or the accordion?
Shantae, the rebirth.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just sounds, one thing that I just fell in love with that night was like how soft we could play and how loud it was just playing. Like you could hear any little noise you tried to make with with your string on whatever instrument, you could hear it. Just the way that porch is and where we were, it just sounded so good, and so you could just relax and you didn't have to like go for it, you could just, and that was really.
It sounds like somebody describing being in the zone.
Yeah.
There was definitely some flow state stuff going on that I experienced for sure. Where
I was definitely feeling some of the benefits of my practice.
Good. Good.
It's like that scene in Karate Kid where he's like wax on, wax off for days out there on polishing cars and frustrated, doesn't know why his teacher is making him polish all these cars. Just doesn't make any sense. And after days, he's like, "I'm out of here. I am done polishing these cars. Wax on, wax off. What's this all about?" And then the teacher's like, "Wait a second. All right, I'm going to throw a punch at you. Wax on. Wax off." And all of a sudden he realizes that his body has learned these moves on such a deep level because he'd been doing it over and over in his muscle memory. But then it's that moment of real world using what you didn't even know you'd learned, and it all mattered and all made sense. And there was a little bit of wax on, wax off going on the porch that night.
There you go. Using what you'd never learned. I like that.
So it sounds like a good vibe for Corey's campaign.
Yeah, I thought we have this. We took the old Dooley song, Dooley, trying to make $1. This old song about moonshine, and turned it into Corey. Corey for council, Corey for Stanton, Corey for you, come election day. And now that all the restaurants have their seating on the street because they close it down, we were getting nice ripples of applause from all the people that were just out there eating dinner or whatever. Woo-hoo. So it actually felt like we were on a bit of a roll.
Wow.
It was very enjoyable. But we sang that song more than once.
Now, was she out there shaking hands or anything?
Shaking babies, kissing hands.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had cake. There was
Wow.
cake.
Has she got any more? Do they have any more like debates or anything?
I think there's one more next week, if I'm not mistaken. On the west end, a church, west end somewhere.
How do you think she did Monday?
I thought she did great.
Hmm.
Um,
There was a forum at the Blackfriars held by the NAACP for all the local candidates for council.
yeah, really beautiful room to do it in, for one, you know.
Mhm.
And you know, there I was kind of set up in the audience, and I'd been kind of recording her at these things, you know. She asked me to, and then I recorded her intro, and she started off. Admittedly, she started off pretty rough, and I'm thinking to myself, man, she's really nervous or something's going on tonight. And I recorded it, but then I just put my phone away after that. I was like, I'm not going to record it anymore, because I just felt like there I was sitting right there, and maybe she saw it and it was messing her up or something. But anyway, that had nothing to do with it. She was just off for other reasons, and then she just pulled it right back together. And that was just like her little intro part. Like, tell us a little bit about yourself, which is normally a 2-minute answer that you get. And they said, just in 1 minute, just give us something about yourself. And she was like, wait,
too.
what? Yeah. But then, all the answers to the questions, some very important questions were asked, and it was good. She did great. Yeah. It's really cool seeing her
I'm
like
seeing
that.
more and more of her signs as I drive around town.
Nice.
It's exciting.
She doesn't really practice any of this stuff on me. So honestly, that night, because she didn't have the questions until she got there that night. So, you know, hearing her answer some of these questions and talk about some of this stuff for the first time was really cool. It's like, oh, I love where she's coming from on this, you know, I am really going to vote for her, you know, not
for
just
reals.
because she's
Not
my
just
wife. Right.
not just
No,
because
this
I
is-
have to.
This girl's got it together.
Now, you don't have to give names or anything, but does she just doing these things feel like she would be able to work better with some people than others? Like, you don't have to name who.
Everyone up there would be a good choice,
Okay.
honestly. Everyone up there would do fine and work well, I think, together.
Right.
It's a little sad because the school board there's 3 slots and there's 3 candidates. So you don't even have to really get engaged. But with the council, there's 4 slots and 5 candidates.
Right.
So someone's going to get voted off the island. It's going to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, I read the little thing they wrote up.
We're overheating. So you should still be able to hear our. Why would it? I feel like it's cool down here. It made sense in the summer, but now it's just. My camera's getting old or
Camera needs a
something.
little Charlie Hustle in it.
You know what I was thinking about the other night was because every night for my daily practice, I'm just playing acoustic guitar or piano, but it's just an acoustic instrument in a song, and started thinking about in popular music when that's ever been enough. Hit songs that were just an acoustic guitar. I can only really think of one.
Like going back to when?
All time.
Just a
Like
acoustic
every
guitar,
popular
that's
song has some kind of band arrangement. It's driven by the arrangement of the
Well,
track.
and, if you're talking about folk music,
I mean popular hits
okay.
with the people.
Just a guitar.
Wow.
I can only think of one. Can y'all think of the one I'm thinking of? Oh no, I just thought of another. No, even I actually then I asked ChatGPT to give me a list of songs that were in the top on the Billboard charts that were just an acoustic version, and 8 out of 10 of them had way more arrangement than they were. Like they had like Neil Young. I forget which song it was.
With like full band stuff though.
Was like Cat Stevens have something on there?
They like even songs you think of as acoustic. If you listen to it, oh, well, there's also pedal steel and drums and bass. It's a simple. It's not like a full-on big production, but it's production nonetheless.
Anybody
But
else
Tracy,
find that disappointing though with ChatGPT?
what do you mean?
That's a little disappointing.
Oh, right.
Like
To not get that a little
it didn't
closer.
even get close. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, carry on.
But the have y'all thought of the one huge hit that was just a acoustic guitar and a voice?
Well, it's a duo.
It's a duo.
Not a duo. Why'd you say that?
That's what I'm thinking. Why?
Because I'm thinking about this song, and I can't remember the name of the group, but it was like a '80s hit.
Heart of Gold by Neil Young is the one that ChatGPT came up with. A classic acoustic hit. This song topped the Billboard Hot 100, but then you listen to the track, and like I say, there's pedal steel, there's drums, there's bass, piano.
Jose Feliciano, was that it?
Remember that song "More
no.
Than Words"?
I don't know.
More
that one.
than words is all you have to do to make you.
Man, you should be a singer.
You know what I'm talking about? It was the duo. They were like maybe 2 brothers, and they sang.
Everly Brothers?
Nah, it was like late '80s, early '90s. I was in high school.
Brothers Brothers?
No, it was like a. The heck?
Oh, More Than Words by Extreme.
Yes.
The acoustic ballad propelled the band Extreme to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1991 and became one of the most iconic acoustic rock songs of the 90s. The one I keep trying to get y'all to say is Fast Car by Tracy Chapman.
Oh my gosh, how can we forget that?
Because that was,
It doesn't kick in
what do you mean?
with drums and stuff by the end.
I don't think it does.
Really?
The original. But maybe. I didn't go back and listen to that one. Tears
I
in
was
Heaven
thinking
by
that.
Eric Clapton. But most of these, like I can see why it said it, Dust in the Wind by Kansas. But the harmonies alone, and I feel like there might be more than just harmonies. Jeff Buckley's Hallelujah is a famous one. But that's electric guitar, so it has that reverb and stuff that makes it a little bit more otherworldly.
Dan Hill.
What?
Dan Hill, Sometimes When We Touch. Is that
I have no idea what that is.
You don't know that song? You know that song, don't you? Sometimes when we touch.
Oh, right.
The
honesty's too
the
much.
funny- the reason I-
honesty's too much. That's good. That's good.
I'm laughing because for some reason I started singing that a couple days ago, and the person I was with, we both knew all the words. Like, how do we all both? And you just started singing it the same way. It's like nobody even thinks about that song. Then somebody imagines that you can just sing like the whole thing almost.
That's very sad.
But I can't remember the music. It's almost
very,
like
very
it's almost
sad.
like it's just a acapella.
What's
song.
next after that?
Sometimes when we touch, the
Oh, come on,
honesty's
come
too
on.
much, and I have to close my eyes.
Let me turn your
and
reverb on.
try.
Think of the
I
show.
wanna hold you till I die, till we both break down and cry. I wanna hold you till the fear in me subsides.
Oh, wow. I want to hold you till the fear in me subsides. Oh, man.
Straight to the top of the chart.
I'm a little...
We should
Anybody else need a tissue?
I need that too. I'm gonna eat it.
Oh, no, here we go. Here we go.
Oh man, you're on a roll. Oh my God!
We should have auctioned that off as like a Jabber Jawn collectible item.
What's that?
The stuff you pulled out of your rectum.
Oh,
that
just
night.
just a big in a fish bowl, just stuffed in a fish bowl, sealed
That's
at the
right.
top, so you can't mess with it.
Stuff-
My
So the next
God.
rabbit hole, while I was in ChatGPT and we were talking music, the next thing I asked it was to give me a list of one hit wonders, because I feel like that's just such a fascinating phenomenon, and I can't imagine. I'm so glad I don't feel this way as an artist or whatever, but just to create a song that everybody loves and then not be able to do it again.
right.
It's just
Or you just could be a guy that never wrote nothing, and nobody ever heard of him.
Right,
That'd be a lot better than to have one.
it would be better.
You
Yeah.
think?
To,
I don't know.
I mean, I see what you're saying. Love and lost. Better to have loved and lost
Exactly.
than to never. But
Yeah.
I still, it's a fascinating phenomenon. So here's a little list of one-hit wonders. Take on Me by Aha.
There was Tracy Chapman on one hit wonder. What else did she do?
That might, it'd be funny if she was on the same list. Fast Car by Tracy Chapman.
But that was a great. I bought that album when it came out. That's a great album.
Oh, it's our cameras. Maybe move the fan closer to it.
So they didn't get to see me singing. I was doing all that dramatic stuff for no reason.
Great moves. Great moves. The fact that you had that whole all choreographed as well was
Just remarkable.
next
performance.
level.
I
Really-
will watch this show just to
Yeah.
see
No,
that
the
segment.
camera's not working.
No, it just went off, right? It was working.
Oh man, I'm
We might have
leaving.
missed it.
Forget this.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I was a one-hit
I
wonder.
can't
that
work
wa-
like this.
That
One
was
hit
a,
wonder.
That was a
Yeah.
one-hit wonder
was a
that they
one-
didn't
yeah.
record.
And it wasn't even captured on film.
Oh, no. Now, that is a shame.
I
All
bet
right, so
that.
Take on Me. That's the one you always hear.
Mm-hmm. I bet
that
that
was
would be an
huge.
interesting biopic. The of a one-hit wonder biopic.
What was
I
that
just
one
can't
song?
imagine because
Goya or
they're
something?
probably young, like in their 20s, and they come up with this tune. Everybody loves it. It's a huge hit, and then they just can't do it again.
No, how about? I mean, I can't think of any names. But how about bands that are god awful? They just keep having hit after hit after hit. And you're like, who's buying this crap? And like, God, I can't even think of anybody. But like, I don't know. You're just like, God. Why can't they just be one-hit wonders and disappear? Why do I have to keep hearing them? Every album has a hit on it. Just go away. Stop bothering people.
All right, how about this game? I'll say the person or band's name, and you tell me the hit that they had. Norman Greenbaum.
Spirit in the Sky.
Bam.
Hey.
But a Norman Greenbaum biopic, I would watch that. I would camp out overnight
But
to be
you-
first in line to see the Norman Greenbaum.
But you know, that was a huge remake in the 90s. What was that guy that did that?
Saw someone redid it?
Yeah, that was
Yeah, this was
hugely popular.
69.
Yeah, it was hugely popular again.
This gospel-inspired rock song reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. Remains a classic. The Norman Greenbaum is not a household name.
No.
Didn't score another hit. Right Said Fred.
I'm too sexy.
Yep.
Too sexy for my shirt.
Too sexy.
for my
So sexy, it hurts.
But those guys, they weren't really a band. They were like a put together
Tell that to
monkeys
Fred.
type thing.
Oh, you think?
Did you see those two guys?
I don't even
They
know.
didn't even play any instruments. They were just looked like Vince. They looked like Vin Diesel or whatever.
How about Los Del Rio?
That has to be a 60s or 70s. thing.
1995.
What's that?
After my time.
I've never even
Oh, it
heard
is
of
after
them.
your time, 95.
I've never even heard of them.
Think about how long you've been alive after your time.
It's shocking.
Hey, can I guess?
Yep.
It's was it Deeper Shade of Soul? No.
It was a dance craze.
Hey,
Macarena?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think I ever even knew the band name for that.
How about The Knack? 1979.
Barcelona.
Yep.
Well, that was a great album too when it came out. I saw them live.
How about Baja Men?
Who let the dogs out? Who?
He is crushing. You have 0 points over here, Dad. You have to come. You have to kick it up a notch.
You have to get a little older.
Yeah, I'm scanning the dates now. Oh, how about OMC? This is one you won't get either.
Oh,
I wouldn't get any. These are all after my time too.
I know the name of the band, but I can't think of it. I'll know the song once you say it.
Do you know it, Lex? Oh, look at the color. Oh. How bizarre.
Oh,
How bizarre! How
yeah.
bizarre!
Fun
Too
song.
sexy for my shirt.
Fun
How
song.
bizarre! How bizarre!
Eddie Grant.
Oh, no, rock down to electric.
Chicago.
But he was in a great band when he was younger called the Equals. I mean, absolutely blow your mind, amazing.
Oh wow. They have any hits?
I don't know what the album is like. You'll listen to it and be like one of your favorite albums, The Equals. Really good.
All right. Well, we did it again.
You see what MTV will teach
Yeah.
you? To sing really bad songs.
We did it again.
He was just stoned with that stupid questionnaire so he'd get the camera back when he sings.
Fix this.
Did you watch the football game that they had the Cowboys game? It didn't come on at like 10 o'clock or something?
Yes. My goodness.
I taped it. I've gotten to. I go to bed about 9:30 now and tape whatever game's on, and get up about 6 o'clock and watch the ball games. It's a lot better than the news.
Yeah. The Commanders are fun to watch again.
Oh my goodness,
Go Washington.
they look great.
I love that quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
They got the real deal there.
I read a story today that he's there at 4 a.m. every day.
Wow.
And all the, like even some of the first anybody else getting there is like 5 or 6 o'clock when they roll in. He's already watched film. He's done his film time and his workout before anybody in the organization even shows up.
yeah. Practice.
He's humble too. He's very humble. Even back in high school, this same story was saying that, you know, he is quoted as saying, "I don't talk trash. I just play the game. I just strive to be good, and I don't talk trash."
You gotta
Just
love
a
it.
humble kid. you
Now
know?
the Commanders are one of the sponsors of our show, so thanks to him.
Welcome, Commanders, Washington Commanders football team to the Jabber Jawn family.
They've been trying to sponsor us for years. They were terrible, so we wouldn't accept them. But now that they're starting to win, we're glad to have them on board. Don't be one-hit wonders and suck next year.
So glad the world can't hear my thoughts. If the world could hear my thoughts, from this world I'd likely be shot like a cannonball. I leave the light on, yes I do. Climb up to where I love the view. Sometimes the dark comes shining through like a cannonball. The cuckoo bird is not the best. Watch it rob the robin's nest. Watch it swallow the swallow's eggs. Such a sweet song.
I would never think to judge. There's nothing evil in a flood. Don't worry, I forgive you, bud. Such a sweet song. For everything there is a time. For every justice there's a crime. We might not see, we might not shine. Someone will. When you fall down in a hole, you don't care who drops the rope. All you can do is holler and hope. Someone will. Cheers.
Very nice.
Until we meet again, we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us on Jabber Jawn.
Good to see you. Love you.
Tune in next week for more sports talk.
That's right. ESPN was watching that one. That's now our resume.
Oh, well, I didn't tell you the bet of the day.
Oh, what? Definitely put all your money on
We got Stevie the Greek over here.
Stevie the Greek. Oh, that guy was, that was like
My
before
commercial will be on your Facebook page in the morning.
Jimmy the Greek, right? Was it Jimmy?
Yeah, that's
And
all
he
he
was
did.
like,